broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
There we go. Hello, Transformers Robots in Disguise fans, and welcome to another episode of the Robots in Disguise After Show. How are we all doing today?
Rocking out, apparently.
Everyone's doing the sideswipe shuffle up in here. Yeah. We are covering episode 6 as the Kospego Commands. With me on the panel, as always, Alexis the Wrecker Torres. And your Twitter?
Oh, it's aTorres890. Find me.
Emma the Speedster Fyffe.
Hello. You can find me on Twitter at Emma Fyffe.
Megan Lord Megantron Salinas.
You can follow me on Twitter at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin.
And I am Katie Kia Prime Cullen on Twitter at KiaXet, KIAXET. If you want to join in the Twitter conversation, our hashtag is ABTVRID. We are streaming live on YouTube today, so woo. Alexis, you're keeping track of the comments on YouTube?
Yeah, we already got 3 people on here, and they're saying we're all awesome.
Obviously they're all awesome as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of awesome, we have 3 awesome special guests with us in the studio today.
Woo!
We have the Robots in Disguise design team. Augusto Barranco.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Jose Lopez.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you. And Walter Gatus.
Hello.
Did I get everyone's names right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for coming on the show today. We've actually been asking design questions of people who don't know the answers, so it's going to be great to be able to pick your brains. And those of you who are listening on iTunes are going to want to switch to YouTube because we will have concept art and images to show. So visuals for this one. But for now, let's start with the episodes. We begin with poor Fix-It nearly dying.
Yeah. It seems to be a going motif, isn't it?
Of Fix-It nearly dying?
Yeah,
that's kind of a thing. Evidently, B asked him and Sideswipe to stack some stasis pods, and Sideswipe decided that he didn't want to help. But that's okay, because he'll cover Fix-It's elephant cage cleaning duties for the next 5 cycles.
So ridiculous.
But the thing that was funniest to me about this scene was the fact that Fix-It was cleaning an elephant, that he was initially cleaning an elephant cage in his mind. Because when B ended up leaving him, he said, "We don't have an elephant cage," and Fix-It says, "Then what have I been cleaning?"
What have you been
And it's
cleaning?
not addressed for the rest of the episode.
Nope.
I want there to be an elephant Decepticon so we can have an epic brick joke.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
I don't even know what it would turn into. That'd be a question for you guys. What vehicle would we turn an elephant Decepticon into?
Elephant. Jeez.
Would it be a dump truck?
Yeah.
Bingo, you got it. Done. Yeah.
Winner.
Nailed it.
So B goes off to talk to Sideswipe, and I love that when he gets angry, he does sound like he's doing the Optimus voice.
He does.
He gets the deep, serious business. It's like, see, it works when you don't try.
Yeah,
But when you try,
no.
we wind up with this. It's awful.
The very defined hand gestures.
Yes. Emphasis on the word team.
Like, just, honey, no. And we find Sideswipe. How did he get headphones that big?
I know. I was wondering that too. Because at first, when I
That's my fault.
Now we have to know. Why did you do it?
That was more or less him going through the scrapyard and piecing little things here and there and like wrapping it with, I don't know, string or rope and,
We should have put
piecemealing it together.
mattresses
I'm just wondering, where was the music coming from? Like, did he put all that together and then plug it into an iPod?
well, he's a car. Doesn't he have like a radio?
There's a thought.
I think we did give him an iPod, didn't we?
He does have like a digital device.
No, initially I did notice that he had a digital device because it was funny because when he was rocking out the Sideswipe
Shaking his
shuffle,
head.
if you will, his dance made me laugh so hard. But initially, I was thinking, how is he playing this music? And then I noticed the giant headphones.
It's funny when you start putting like size comps together and just like this thing is like this big, or if it's a normal digital device,
Right. Like a little nano or something.
And that's going to be something you guys have to work with every single episode is scale in terms of like, okay, well, how big is everything in relation to everything else?
Yeah, and just tracking through the whole season, all these bits and pieces that may recur somewhere else. It's luckily our production team.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, like what kind of a vehicle an elephant would be, right? So we always try to size the robot depending on how tall they're going to be to a vehicle that
More or less.
More or less.
Something that'll translate.
Yeah, if it were
mass.
standing up on its rear tires, it would be roughly the size of the robot that you're going for.
So always a problem is like when a robot turns to a motorcycle, because that mass does not.
That law of conservation of mass.
Wonderful magic of animation.
Or just a very big motorcycle. But to me, that means the headphones are coming back.
And I hope so.
And I loved B getting distracted by the fact that he was listening to music and taking the headphones and listening himself. It's like, you're still a child.
I know, yeah. But the best part was that B tried to have this really intellectual conversation with him about music.
I wrote it down. The melodies are complex, and the lyrics frequently have multiple meanings. And then Sideswipe applies. I like the parts.
Well, I love that it shows that B still has a deep love for his home away from home, which was Earth.
Yeah.
And it shows that he has a much deeper understanding and appreciation for it than although Sideswipe's beginning to appreciate it in its own way.
I've been doing that all day because of him now. But I
We're
also,
all going to be doing it all day.
but more along the lines, Sideswipe really annoyed me this epised. Like,
You don't say.
No, but like usually I'm just like, okay, fine, whatever. He's just being Sideswipe. But no, like this time I was just like, I just want to punch you in the face, even though I would break my hand.
It's like, have we not learned our lessons about? And what I find really interesting about this is B getting so angry because. Let's skip ahead. Let's talk about Grimlock getting taken out.
Yeah.
Because every con we've had on this series, with the exception of Steeljaw, has been able to take a swing at Grimlock and take him down. None of them have been able to take him out badly enough that he thinks he can fly. I'm sorry. I didn't catch that until the second watch. I was like, why does he think he... Oh my God, his circuits are fried.
Exactly, and that's why
that's
I
bad.
loved it so much when he was there. He was so adamant, and it made me so happy because I was like, "Oh, Grimlock, you're trying so hard to fly. You're adorable."
But that also establishes our Thunderhoof, as someone who's actually a threat, because we haven't had anyone take Grimlock out completely as of yet, and he did it off screen. And B comes from war, and he knows that if you go off alone, cliff jumper.
Yeah.
I got everyone. 6 other people in this room, and every single one of them is like, oh.
Yeah,
Too
just
soon.
that'll do it. Cliff jumper, go please. We gotta let him go.
No,
He's gone. He died like 20 times.
It's true. In one episode. And then he came back, and then he died again. We can only have The Rock for so long. But B knows what happens when you're out alone and you get outmatched by a Decepticon, and he's probably just sitting there going, thank Primus, Grimlock is not scrapped.
Yeah.
That would be
super
terrible.
bad. So he's got a really good reason to be angry at Sideswipe.
Yeah.
I agree, and I think this was the first episode where we started to see kind of the final straw with Sideswipe. So, like, for me, I've been mostly entertained by his antics up to this point, but this was the first episode where he was really seeing some consequences for his constant irresponsible behavior. And I think that from this point on, we're going to start to see a little evolution, maybe.
I wish that were the case.
I thought that was the case in episode 3.
I watched Transformers Animated, and do you know how many episodes I had to watch of B learning the same lesson over and over and over and over again? That's going to be Sideswipe this series.
And all of the animated fans are going to be like, but animated, what? No, animated was actually quite good once they realized that people older than 5 years old were watching it and that action should really have consequences.
And they did.
That was season
and it was
3,
sad.
when actions got consequences, and it was amazing.
Anyway, back to this series.
We're kind of hoping that that's not going to be the same thing, because we have Prime to look at. We have Rescue Bots to look
Yeah.
at. We have a bunch of series where actions do have consequences.
Absolutely.
And it's only in this episode where they started having more serious consequences.
Yeah.
The question's going to be whether Grimlock is still rattled next episode.
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to argue that I think he'll be fine on the surface, but underneath, he's starting to change.
Like some wires across.
No, he's starting to learn from his mistakes, but he's way too cool to ever admit it.
Okay.
Oh, no, I mean if he'll be medically sound.
She's talking about Sideswipe. You're talking about Grimlock.
Yeah.
I'm talking about two different characters.
We really
I was like,
Talking about Grimlock. That's what I was thinking of.
I was still like,
into a bird comment.
Yeah, that's why I was sitting there flopping around you. I was like, oh my god, Grimlock's just.
No, that's why I'm wondering. Actions
Grimlock's
having
gonna be fine.
consequences. Yeah.
But I do agree with you, Megan. I think that it might not be very constant that it's going to be a problem or that he's going to be doing that, but I feel like here and there it's going to come up.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as egregious as it has been in other series for other characters, but it's something that's going to keep popping up every now and again because we talked about this last week. You make the same mistakes over and over again in life, and eventually you have character development in real life.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like it won't really hit him too hard until someone really gets hurt. Because Grimlock, we carted him off, but we also played it for laughs because he thought he could fly.
Yeah,
What
so
happens when
cute.
Russell gets hurt? What happens when me goes down and someone else needs to pick up the reins and temporarily lead the team? What happens then? I don't think we're going to get a lot of change from Sideswipe until we really get the consequences hammered in. And again, it's not Prime.
And that's that's the other thing, though. Where I'm not going to jump to it, but where we're left at the end of this episode, clearly something is being built.
Oh, yeah.
And there will be consequences for that. So I definitely think that when we get to that point, we're going to see a lot of growth and development for all of the characters.
Especially in predictions that I have after seeing what happened in the end. There's a lot of things that I'm thinking of that we have that these guys are going to get in a lot of trouble.
We can't wait to gush.
We're super excited.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Thunderhoof and his cult of Scientologists.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because that's kind of what they are.
They're so creepy.
They're like
kid show.
15. Have you noticed that they were all
They were teenagers. It was creepy. I
They
was like,
have
where
to
are your
be
parents?
really. These are the kids who grew up on Creepypasta and Slender Man.
Yes.
They have to be
Yes.
because they saw something in the woods and they immediately went, "We'll worship it, or he'll murder us." And I'm like, you're a bunch of Slender Man kids. You really super are.
He did have demands of them, though, because he was the one who sent them to go get all the stuff from Denny.
But if they'd run from the woods and gone back home, he never would have found
He would have
them.
never known.
That is true.
He doesn't care about them individually. He just cares that he has this little rat pack of idiots to do his bidding.
Pretty much.
Did you see him crush that tree? They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Beings hate trees. Poor, what was it, Arthur? Arnold.
Arnold.
Yeah.
Arnold's looking for a father figure.
He needs to look elsewhere. He needs to look elsewhere.
You and I, we're on the same page. I was like,
I want to know who came up with the cuckoo clock right
was-
there because the
that was my
timing could
favorite.
not have been better.
I even wrote in my notes. I was just like, these kids are cuckoo.
I called it the cuckoo clock of glorious timing.
That was pretty
Followed
great.
up with the Kospego as a 1920s gangster.
I was sitting there going, why is he from the East Coast and why is he seeming like you owe him money?
He apparently ran the biggest crime syndicate on Cybertron.
And had cops on his payroll, mind you.
Exactly.
Cybertron corrupt? Didn't we have a war?
I understood where his accent was coming from completely.
I do want to talk about that because when looking at his character design, I expected a voice very similar to Steeljaw,
He
somebody
looks
who
majestic.
spoke very
does look
deliberately,
majestic.
who there was weight to everything he said. But when he started speaking, it was that hey, what, you know, that
You're
gangster.
an anime kid.
I had to pause, rewind, and I was just like, no, it sounds like my uncle, no.
I think for what you guys are going for, I think with where the story's going for, I think it's very fitting him being a crime boss.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't what I expected because he looks very majestic.
If you're an anime kid and you've seen Princess Mononoke, it's
Yes.
like, he looks like the Great Forest
Totally
Spirit.
looks like
If
the
you're
Great
into
Forest
Pokemon, he looks like Xerneas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, looks like Xerneas, sounds like the pigeons from Animaniacs.
Actually,
Hey, man, I was fine with that.
That's it.
it was actually because he looked like the Great Forest Spirit from Princess Mononoke that I totally understood why all those teenagers were like, oh yeah, that's a forest god.
He's a deity. It makes sense. But just speaking from the design point, I kind of want to know what went into that. Or did we want to wait until later in the episode?
We should probably wait.
Let's wait till we're done with the recap.
Okay.
Then we will pull up the pictures, and we really want to hear the details about this.
As just kind of a
Super
surface
excited.
question, was there anything in particular you guys drew from as inspiration for Thunderhoof?
The process for the designs of all the Decepticons, the way it worked out, we had an overall story arc of what the show was going to be, the season was going to be, and we knew that we wanted all the villains to have an animal influence and stuff. So I'm not lying. Basically, what we did, we went through like a animal map. And we started picking. This guy's cool. This guy's cool. Hey, let's do a tiger. Let's do a bull. Let's do a dog. Whatever. And so basically, what happened was we created a lineup of just random, really cool designs. Very sketchy.
Yeah.
A lot of them. We did hundreds. And so basically, what happened is we gave them to Jeff Klein. We gave them to Adam. And from there, they started picking the ones that they wanted.
Sparked inspiration.
Yeah, sparked inspiration, and where they wanted to initiate certain storylines from them. So they went ahead and picked. So something happened with Thunderhoof that they were like, "Hey, this guy could be the 1920s gangster."
I just love that you brought that up. That it's like, oh, he looks like a deity, but he looks like someone you could see on the street, like, hey, selling salami. I don't know.
I like the cut of your jib.
Totally. That's why it reminded me of it. Okay.
I was gonna say, would he be like bootlegging Energon? What is that? What he's up to?
I know.
Bootlegging Energon, yes.
Sounds profitable.
I'm just saying, he reminded me of my uncle. He sells deli meat. That's the first thing I went to. Okay.
I hope your uncle's watching this right now.
Yes, and I'm sorry. I love you. Love
Because
you,
I know
Uncle
my mom
PJ.
occasionally watches these. Hi, Mom.
I love you, Uncle PJ.
But I think it's a combination of the design has a particular look, then the writing comes, and then whoever's going to do the voice, which is Frank Stallone.
Frank
in this
Stallone.
case.
Yeah.
So he brings that energy and stuff. So it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And it was a great delivery. It was just super unexpected.
Completely threw me off. I was just like, what?
Again, I think in contrast to Steeljaw, it's going to work very
Yes.
well.
I completely
And,
Me too.
But yeah, it was just a surprise.
Yeah.
I like where this is going.
Yes.
I approve.
Then the reason it's called as the Kospego Commands is evidently there is a local Bigfoot-style legend where you got a bipedal elk creature, lives in the forest, strength of 1,000 men, super cranky. And so he just showed up looking the part, and everyone who saw him kind of went, oh, shoot. This sure was a Bigfoot sighting, and he's going to murder us all.
I really wish we could have seen like a flashback of the initial meeting between these teenagers and this gangster who's essentially looking at ants.
He broke a tree.
Yeah.
Did you want it from Thunderhoof's point of view?
Yeah, just like, I'll put the muscles on these guys.
Are they? I don't know what they are, but they're good peons. Let's do that.
There's a hoof. He went like this.
It's just. I'm just imagining him balancing on one hand and clanking the hoof.
This is my hoof. Do you want to get acquainted with my hoof? And then he steps on a tree, and that's what happens.
And that's it.
And scene.
Scene. So I have to call him the Scientologist.
Go right ahead.
I live in LA. It's too easy.
Yeah.
Scientologists show up with a list of demands, and
That
V
wasn't a
figures
list.
out.
That was a scroll.
And we couldn't resist the visual gag of the scroll going forever. And I'm like, you guys made a scroll. Did you find a print shop that printed on scroll? Because I don't think your usual HP is going to do that.
Just put the list on your phone.
It's true.
That's what-
Apparently, they wanted to bring it old school style.
Yeah. I guess maybe it's just in fashion
They are in
in
a
the
cult.
woods
I mean,
of
yeah, and
Crown
they're wearing-
City to just
Yeah,
carry
I mean,
around
they-
scrolls.
They did think that they were making an altar. They had
is true.
no idea they were making a space
With a
bridge.
high-power generator, and good
Yeah.
on B for figuring that out.
Yeah.
The fact that he knew.
I loved the scene too where Rusty brought it to Denny's attention that they could not sell them that generator. And he's
We
like,
sold
no,
it to Mr. Bumblebee. Which is not
Wink,
subtle if you're
wink.
the audience, but the Scientologists have no
They don't know
context. So they're
Bumblebee
like,
is.
oh no, someone else bought it. Someone with a really stupid name. Who names their kid that? And B's just like, oh. But And then we have Strong Arm showing up before we can get an explanation. And I kind of love that Strong Arm's whole purpose in this episode was deliver device, cart Grimlock away.
Yep.
Like, we need an episode that focuses on her.
Yes, please.
Because this is a focus on Sideswipe
Well,
episode.
and also destroy vintage refrigerators.
Destroy vintage. Well, that was everyone.
Yeah, poor thing.
She found something called a Decepticon Hunter, which is essentially a very versatile lightsaber.
That's what I was
It
thinking.
responds to your thoughts and changes into whatever. So she turns it into an axe. And I remember seeing a clip of her with an axe in the reel during Comic-Con last year, and I'm like, it's a female Autobot with an axe. Oh my god.
Shut up and take my money.
That's exactly what it was. And it's like, she doesn't have an axe yet. Was I mistaken? Did I misremember? There it is.
Oh, man.
But yeah, she didn't
very-
have it for very long this episode.
It's very good. It's very bad at protoblasters. Or maybe they're really bad at whatever a protoblaster is, but it's really good at medieval weaponry.
To me, it seems that the proto blaster is somewhat like the Force. Like, it responds to your emotions. And
Well, to me, it didn't seem like quite like a lightsaber. It seemed more like the Green Lantern's ring.
Yeah.
Because it's whatever your imagination comes up with.
Even though it was just kind of, it wasn't really responding very well.
No.
Fix-It did say within limits, so it's entirely possible that whatever they're asking for is not something it
Yeah.
can do.
That's what I was
So it's
thinking.
just like, I can do this. Is this okay? No. Okay, I can do an axe. I can do a mace. Why won't you love me?
His sword looked cool. It looked like the Star
The
Saber.
sword was amazing.
did.
I loved the mace. I have to
was
say,
great.
I love the mace, and I love that we got to see it in combat.
Yeah.
Even
That
if
was
it
so
was
cool.
Sideswipe who didn't understand more than,
I was totally fine with that. And I was just like, yes.
it worked.
It did. Mm-hmm. I just love to fix it where he just kind of forgot that he had it, and then he had it. And I was just like, what's happening right now?
What are these?
He forgets a lot of things.
He does. Oh, also,
Bless him.
Grimlocks, which could be bad.
Because evidently, if the space bridge is not built exactly correctly, it could create a black hole.
Did anyone
Decepticon engineering?
Was anyone concerned that like we were going to open up a hole to the Shadow Zone? I was a little concerned.
or just something terrible.
Between two
For those of you
functional ground
listening
bridges,
to the
and that's different.
podcast, Alexis raised her hand. A visual cue.
Yes.
I'm really impressed that one, B knows how to build a space bridge, and two, that Thunderhoof knows how to build a space bridge and was able to communicate it correctly to humans who don't know what a space bridge is.
Well, as
didn't
we
think
saw,
of that.
not correctly.
Obviously.
Well, yeah, they didn't plug into the relays. They ran off. Well, maybe we should check the... Nah. It just did not work well. And then we have Thunderhoof taking out Grimlock because he and Sideswipe are supposed to be guarding the only other generator in the area, and Sideswipe gets bored with it. It's supposed to be a passage of time because Grimlock's standing at attention and he's ready to fight, and Sideswipe is tapping his foot and sitting down and just super impatient. Like, so... was this supposed to be over the course of like 5 hours or 5 minutes?
I can't tell.
I could see
Either one is conceivable.
I'm gonna go with 5 minutes
I was
because
going to
it's
say,
Sideswipe.
I'm definitely on the 5-minute side.
Yeah, because Bumblebee and Strongarm I didn't feel like they were gone that long. You know, like 5 hours seems like a long amount of time to be sitting there looking at the perimeter or whatever that they were doing at the time.
Not even checking in via radio or anything like
you
that.
know what I mean?
So-
I agree. I would say tops maybe 15 minutes, maybe.
I wouldn't even
Maybe.
give him that long. It's,
I mean-
it's Sideswipe, and he spent the entire episode being a jerk.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
So he runs off to go listen to music and not help anybody with anything at all ever. And they hear Grimlock get taken out over the radio.
Oh, yeah.
And that makes it worse. Because at this point, we've seen a silhouette, and we've seen the results of him taking out Grimlock. We haven't actually seen Thunderhoof yet.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah,
so
it was
this is
good
really good
build-up.
horror movie
Yeah.
build-up.
Yeah.
It's like Jaws. You only see him in the last 10 minutes.
Only if Jaws had a funky accent.
Don't get me started. If John's had a Boston accent, I'm done.
His name is Bruce.
Yeah, there you go.
With the matching soundtrack.
Dan it, dan it. Dan it, dan it.
It's not our Peter Griffin. Hi, I'm Bruce.
Thunderhoof. What?
Gosh Darn it. So we have to send poor Grimlock back to get looked at by Fix-It, who hopefully lives up to his name in this regard. They don't have a medic.
No, they don't.
This is a problem.
I wouldn't call a medic, but they need it.
The medic might be on Earth. We don't know.
I hope so.
In theory, yes.
Honestly, I think if Ratchet were on planet, there would have been contact established by now.
Oh, yeah.
So
That would be helpful.
So this is just like everyone from Prime is kind of in a we don't know season 2 sort of void. Oh, tell us. There's things that don't make sense.
Well,
I just want the
regardless, they
World
need to
Bible.
send somebody with some medical expertise.
They really do, because we have Fix-It and Primus help him. He tries.
He really does.
He does.
He's going to have a horrible backstory that is going to just completely destroy all of us when we learn it. But we all want to know. We all want to know why Fix-It needs to be fixed.
I'm not ready.
It's like sitting down to watch Game of Thrones. You know something bad's going to happen.
True.
You
That's
just
True,
don't
but
know how
you
bad.
do it anyway.
Yeah, we can't help it.
You're going to cry, but you can't look away.
The Decepticons send their regards. So we send the only remaining reliable member of the team, Strongarm, back with Grimlock because he obviously needs to be helped away. Oh my god.
That poor thing.
And the comment about, you know that feeling when someone throws you through a mountain?
Oh,
And
yes.
it's like just no and be, like, yeah, someone's been through a war.
Well, and it was funny, too, because he said, it was like that, but it hurt.
It's a painful.
Yeah, painful, exactly.
And it's interesting if you know that B's been through a war and been through all this stuff
Yeah.
to watch him. First of all, his experiences with this, knowing that, yep, I know what it's like. No, you don't leave your teammates; they could die. And then tangling with Thunderhoof, you can see that he's very accustomed to fighting bots that are bigger than he is.
Yeah.
Someone's fought Megatron before.
I mean, come on.
Literally.
yeah.
And it pains me that his team doesn't understand that, like, hey, I've fought Megatron before. Listen to me, you know? And it kills me, but at the same time, it makes for story. So,
You just want to knock their heads together.
I
Be
do
like,
a
get it
little bit.
together, guys.
B is also still super young. He's kind of
also
the
true.
equivalent of our age. So it's like us leading around a bunch of teenagers.
I love that we had one of our YouTube commenters, I want to say it was last week or something, basically said that B is an older child babysitting children not much younger than him.
yeah, that's very true.
He might be a war hero, but they know him well enough not to respect him.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Because they've seen him be a dork
Yeah.
and they've seen him continually fail at the catchphrase game. And it's just,
How bad was this one?
oh my god, I was with Strongarm. I felt she looked like she was in real visceral pain.
When she heard it.
And I had to catch that expression on my second go round because my first one, like, oh god, he's gonna do one. Picked up a pillow and mashed my face into it because it's the secondhand embarrassment thing.
It is.
I just can't.
Yeah, I hear
So
ya.
poor B.
He tries, though.
He's kind of like the RA.
Emma, that's
Perfect. He's the RA that's trying just a little too hard.
But
so
RAs have
funny.
a framework and higher authorities to back them up.
But does anyone
has
really respect their RA?
No, I was an RA. That did not happen. That was the worst. Oh,
I respected my RAs, but I'm lawful good. Or lawful neutral.
I was in an all-girl dorm. It didn't happen.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
So they find the space bridge, such as it is, and they find the Scientologist there, and they have to scare them away. Well, what do? We do another plan that hinges on acting. They all need acting lessons if they're going to keep doing acting plans.
For real.
Because seriously, no one can improvise.
I'm waiting for them to put a little Cybertronian acting troupe together and perform a play. I
Yes.
want to see the Cybertronian musical that they put together.
Cybertronian
Yes,
musical.
and they call themselves Side Swingo and Bumbigo.
Yep. Other legendary creatures of great legendariness.
Has been awful, and we're gonna go take him out. So you guys should leave, otherwise this will happen. Destroys tree. Why do legendary creatures hate trees so much?
So good.
I do love Thunderhoof's entrance, though. That the trees are all being mowed down.
Yeah.
and you get this giant tractor pulling in, and then
Which that is a
looks so good.
brilliant
Smart.
design because I kept wondering after seeing Thunderhoof's design, I kept going, what vehicle on earth are they going to turn this guy into? And sure enough, a
did we.
tractor was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you guys a little like when you guys when that was the decision? Were you guys like, what are we even gonna do with that?
When we had the giant horns, we're just like, where can we put those?
What's it gonna be?
So we just going through a lineup of vehicles and stuff, and I thought, I don't think there's a tractor transformer.
Yeah. You know what he is? John Deere.
Boo!
I regret nothing. I have to get at least one. I
will boo you every single time.
I'm aware. I've come to expect it. The moment my notes say he don't get no respect in terms of Thunder.
Don't get no respect.
No respect. And we get to see why they call him Thunderhoof, which was pretty awesome, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was a great attack.
I loved it.
No wonder he took out Grimlock. You don't expect something like that. That's like Final Fantasy boss battle style
Totally.
stuff.
Yeah, just in the middle of the boss battle where you think you've totally got this nailed down, and then something like that happens.
You're like, where did we put the Phoenix
giant
down?
hoof out of nowhere.
But it was really funny because it's like, oh, Thunderhoof. I get it.
There's a reason. That is Stephen the Mini Con Lemieux in the booth providing music. Thank you, Steve. Oh, man. And as
That brought me back.
Right?
I was like, why do I feel anxiety all of a sudden? Oh, okay, there it is.
And as is almost always the case in these fights, B gets his tailpipe handed to him because we have established that you can't take on these cons on your own. And we have another plan with Sideswipe acting. Except he kind of can.
I know.
Convinces him that he wants to switch sides and has been being enough of a jerk through the whole episode that the audience is like, maybe?
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with the trope, it looks convincing.
Yeah, I was super angry. I can't read you what I said because there's too many slates in there.
My notes are heavily edited.
Yeah, and it just says, "Ugh, Sideswipe, what are you doing, you piece of?"
You rusted little.
And then right after, it's like, he better not. I was so mad.
Oh no,
But
he
he
did.
does convince Thunderhoof to spare B, just like, nah, let him rot on this planet. Let's get out of here.
No.
We should check the connections. And Thunderhoof just, nah.
Let's just hit it.
Can I just say, I really want a GIF, like on a loop of Thunderhoof slapping Sideswipe in the face. Like, kid, I like this kid.
I like you.
there.
on a loop.
It'd be
I
great.
need that.
Okay,
Fans get on
Twitter, Tumblr, you know where to find gifts. Help us out here. Send us a link. We want it.
Someone send it to me, please.
So they managed to create a black hole because, surprise, surprise, a bunch of 15-year-old Scientologists don't know how to build a space bridge. Who would have thought?
Oh, my word.
Not so up on the actual science.
No, just the tologist. They managed to get Thunderhoof and a bunch of steel crossbeams. Where did they get the? Yeah, I'm not even going to question the logic of this because they got steel crossbeams and someone has enough engineering knowledge and expertise to put together. No,
I mean, you gotta hand it
Just
to.
let it go.
there are some things that are not worth asking about. Where
No,
everyone's
that's one of them.
arm cannon went is worth asking about. Well, my grammar just died on that sentence.
It's okay. Moving on.
They managed to throw Thunderhoof through it, close the black hole by exploding the generator in it so it fizzles out into nothing, which great animation for that. Yeah. That looked really good. And then our last scene from our heroes is, it looked like he teleported, but where did he go? About 100 yards away and right behind
That is so lucky.
super convenient. It could have teleported you into Unicron's eye and you wouldn't have known.
But he just convenient.
Center of the earth.
I know. I just thought it was funny.
But instead, he just conveniently teleported to the exact part of the forest where Steeljaw's hanging out.
What do you think? Like Steeljaw was just sitting there, like plotting, and then like, what in Primus?
No, I
The
just
answer
imagine
is
him
yes.
sitting there like, by the Allspark, please, give me a sign. Thunderhoof.
Thank you.
So now that he got away, he needs a nickname.
Oh, yeah.
I've been thinking Prongs.
Prongs?
That's all I've got.
I don't think that fits. He's
Not
like
really,
Prong.
but the other one is Hungry Like a Wolf and Legion of Spiders. So,
Oh, it's got to be something to do with that crime boss. Boise's got.
Crime Boss or Antlers? Something. We could call him Al Capone.
We could call him Al
call him the
Capone.
Rack.
That too. I don't know. That one's
Or
a
like
tough one.
Taxidermy Godfather.
No, that's too many.
Oh, but I liked it. I just call him Uncle PJ. That's right.
You know that's going to be his name now, right?
Uncle PJ.
So Uncle
So we
PJ,
have Hungry Like the Wolf and Uncle PJ working together.
which can I
And
just
Legion of Spiders is still somewhere out there, and we know we're getting more mini cons.
I
So
know,
I'm
yeah.
waiting for that to be an issue in
That's
like
gonna be a
episode
great
11.
episode.
Can I just say that I really want, for whatever group Steeljaw puts together, I want the Decepticon logo with the claw marks to be their insignia.
Actually, let's hit predictions. Let's do that. Since we're kind of already in there.
Yeah, seriously.
But we gotta wrap it up. We got a lot to cover.
Yeah, we have predictions. We have one piece of news and gossip.
Somebody in the chat said Mafia Bambi. I like that better. Perfect.
Oh, man.
That was nice.
You're awesome. Mafia
pretty
Bambi.
great.
Mafia
I like
Bambi.
So, yeah.
Predictions. I do think Legion of Spiders is coming back, and
Yes.
he's going to be an issue when it comes to mini cons. As for next episode, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm left in the dark at this point. Anything can happen.
Next,
Ready to see some Decepticon team ups.
next episode I have no idea, but ultimately Steeljaw, Thunderhoof getting a team together, and I see differences in leadership style being a problem.
Yes.
Yes.
Interesting.
In more than one team, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, it's not just the Decepticons. It's definitely gonna be with Bumblebee in our team.
Yeah. And we actually have one piece of news and gossip.
Yeah.
Really super ridiculously excited about.
She got so excited.
Female Autobots! Yay! We are getting Windblade on Robots in Disguise. And I would think it's soon enough because we have a fully voiced, fully animated clip. So, that's our news and gossip as far as the show goes, where they're also going to start doing comics with female combiners and Windblade. So we're getting female bots. They're listening to the fans. Thank you!
Yeah.
You're amazing.
And I would watch that TV program.
We are watching that TV program.
Anyway,
So, thank you guys for coming in. We were interested as to how the design goes. Stephen, can we get the Thunderhoof pictures up, please? And then we're curious as to what changes you had to make, because you guys worked on Prime, right?
Yes.
What changes did you have to make between Prime and Robots in Disguise? How did you kind of have to shift gears for that?
It's very simple. Prime was all about details. If you look at, you actually have designs were side by side. If you look at Prime, it's just, the call was just like put as much detail as possible. And if it's too busy, we'll get rid of stuff.
Right.
Robots in Disguise is the complete opposite. We're like, keep it as simple as possible.
Graphic.
Get rid of stuff. And then if it's too simple, we'll add little details and stuff. So we try to go for, because we also were doing the toon shading and then more like the 2D sort of energy for the show. So we wanted to go with something a little bit more graphic and more stylized, bigger shapes and that kind of thing.
Dynamic silhouettes,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And brighter colors too, I think, and that's
yeah.
that's some of working with the more traditional animation medium with the more cartoony style.
So what we have here is the concept art for Thunderhoof, actually. We have it step by step. So do you guys want to talk us through these images and we'll flip through them?
Well, this one, I mean, with most of the very rough sketches, we were just going through them really quickly, as quickly as possible.
You can see we pull reference, and that's like that's our inspiration.
Yeah. And also, if even if the character doesn't come across as
Right.
quickly for executives or whatnot, as soon as you throw the reference, they're like, yes, that's perfect.
I got it.
Roll with it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
fix the drawing.
So did you
know?
guys then, you went
So
into this
cool.
project working on the Decepticons knowing that all of the Decepticons were going to be animal based then?
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I figured, is
You
you
know,
start with the animal.
Yeah, it went through different stages
Yeah.
and stuff in terms of the development, because when they told us that there was a prison ship and we're gonna have like alien creatures and stuff, we started doing some really crazy
Yeah.
alien
A lot of
bizarre
exploration.
stuff. But then they got a little scared that we were going a little too crazy.
Too awesome. Too awesome.
So they were like, why don't we do animals? We were like, all right.
Can we talk a little bit about what we're seeing on screen? Stephen, can you go back one, please?
This one is awesome.
So cool.
I love
Can you
this.
tell us a little bit about the step of the design?
Well, this is where I took Augusto's design and I started to elaborate on it, and we brought out the neck a little bit, so it wouldn't be so scrunched down, and his antlers wouldn't hit his shoulders. And then I also found the vehicle like inspiration.
Okay, can we
So
get
we
the
started putting
next
that in
couple,
there.
Steve?
Oh yeah, you
saw
can see
this.
the tractor wheels.
It used to be gold, but once we put it, for some reason, I don't know, I wanted a brown tractor or something, a gold tractor, but and there's always the issue. Once he's next to Bumblebee, they're both the same.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
when I saw this image,
So we definitely
it's too
try to
close
stay
be.
away from green because of John Deere.
I think I did a version of green.
Yes.
I like this though.
So that's where blue came from then?
So then we started exploring with colors and stuff, and we started looking at our lineup of characters, and we thought blue looked beautiful on them. Yeah. So,
I'm starting to notice a trend with Steeljaw and Thunderhoof. They all have like a certain amount of blues and grays and things in their build, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, the same way we handle like Prime designs is there's the elements that are visible within the vehicle, and then there's all the stuff that we hide.
Yeah.
So normally we try to keep that in the grays.
So cool.
I love the turnaround.
Yes, me too.
It looks so good.
Walter
It's so
right
crazy because the antlers look so much more grander from the back than from the front. So I
How
like
closely do you guys have to work with the marketing teams, the people who are actually making the toys and everything like that? Do they kind of let you guys do it autonomously, or?
It's not the marketing team; they're called the brand team.
Ah.
So we work very closely. We've been very fortunate that they kind of leave us alone at the early stages until they let us design and kind of spearhead the entire energy of the show and the look of the characters and stuff. But there is at one point where we have to get this stuff approved by them. It goes back and forth. We work with the team in Japan with Takara, and so we, they come back and they be like, hey, you know what, this little stuff here, that's going to be problematic, and you get rid of that, or it would be great if you put the wheels over here. So there is adjustments in the process, and we do work together. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Has having a fair amount of previous work now, because you guys worked on Prime as well, working specifically designing things that ultimately are going to have to be toys, changed the way that you go about designing these robots?
Yes and no, because the main thing is we want to make sure that the overall design works for the product end of stuff. But our ultimate goal is to make sure that we have characters that portray the right personality, they have the correct soul, they're going to be able to act and
They can
move.
emote.
Yeah, because there's a lot of the times when we do changes for the product, for the toy, it's just like, there's no way we can put this wheel here or this bumper here, because then he can't jump and kick and do all this kind of stuff. So, we got it after Prime, and then with this, we got to the point where we know what we can get rid of, or, the changes that we can all accommodate to make sure everybody's happy.
Yeah, because that's where my question was going to be. I was like, I wonder what's the difference, if there is a difference from the toys to how you would do that for the show.
But you know what, the brand team at the same time, they take a lot of liberties in terms of what they have to do and change and move to make sure that the toy works well.
Yeah.
True.
Because ultimately, we want to make sure that the show looks great, that the characters are characters that the people are gonna, fans are gonna love and stuff. But at the same time, this is Transformers.
Yeah.
We want to go
There's
toys.
gonna be toys.
Yeah.
We all want cool toys.
Yeah, so you want
have
to make
to-
sure you get the toy and it looks awesome. So yeah, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
So you have to design with kind of two different, not audiences, but two different groups of people that you have to keep happy in mind, both on the show side and the toy side.
Yes, yes. And it's very important for us. Were you gonna
Yeah.
say something?
Well, I was just saying, constantly we have to think of both, the toys and also the show at the same time. So.
Okay.
So a lot of communication then. That's good.
Yeah.
Communication
And,
is key.
there's nothing more exciting for us than we do the show, we see the episodes and stuff, and then we get to go with our families to Toys R Us or wherever, and then just buy the stuff, and
Yeah.
we go home and save like everybody else, and like Happy Meals right now.
Good luck.
Did you have like a favorite, before we wrap up, did you have a favorite Transformer you guys got to work with? Or?
Optimus is always my favorite.
Jazz.
Yes! Finally!
From this show or also from Prime?
It doesn't matter.
Either way,
I'm
in
down for
general.
both.
Yeah.
What's this?
So
Speaking
many.
of which, we've got a lovely piece from Prime up right now.
Yeah.
Take a look at that.
War on
So-
Cybertron. It looks great.
Yeah, that was one of the matte paintings I did for the show.
Awesome.
So, Jose blocked in with all the characters and working with the background team to do that. And then luckily it came to me where I could do the full-on painting, which was a lot of fun. We actually can see your work one for one on screen.
I
Which
also want to give a shout out to Eric Brown, who's our prop designer, who, I give him do a tractor, and he's the guy that makes it work in 3D and does fantastic.
That's
vehicles and
awesome.
stuff. So yeah,
like
he's
that. All right.
a huge part of the design process.
yeah.
So, Are there any projects that you guys are working on that you would like to tell us about, or that you can? Okay. NDAs, yeah.
Well, we're right now our main focus is still Transformers, trying to make make sure that we're very happy that the show is out and then the fans are enjoying it and stuff, and then you guys are. Seems like you guys.
Yes, we are so cool. By the way, a lot of this concept art, I'm loving it.
Yeah, a lot of it was just like, what's an animal that hasn't been done yet? And just like running through and like, oh, this guy's kind of cool.
Horseshoe crab.
Whenever you're looking for like the weirdest animals, look in the ocean.
Was this what would become Bisque?
Interesting.
It's his cousin.
Rangoon?
This reminds me of the ships from Mass Effect, kind of.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
And this guy.
So creepy.
There's a couple pictures in, Steven. Can you find the pictures labeled Hotwire?
Well, I named them in order, my dear.
Oh.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah. It's like a Cthulhu Transformer bot.
That's what we were saying.
Yeah, keep going through.
Yeah.
So can we say Hotwire?
Hotwire, was he was he one of the scrapped ones? Unfortunately, that's kind of
Yeah.
So
He looks amazing.
He has like the Predator, like
Yes, Predator. Yes.
yeah, that's the first thing
You know what? You girls are very good. You guys, you've been hitting them perfect every time.
very intuitive with our pop culture.
Yeah.
But Hotwire used to
Underbite.
be the main villain for until
He evolved to.
what's his name?
Steeljaw.
And then
Steeljaw,
Steeljaw.
Yeah, there you go.
Lycan.
Yes.
nice.
But yeah, for the longest time, Hotwire was the hot guy of the show. But he went through different versions and stuff, and then we went to the braids, like the Predator thing, and the cables and all this kind of stuff.
That's
and then
so
one day they
awesome.
were like, "We're done with that. We're going with
Let's just do this." And I think that's when the show really cemented the animal theme.
They finally figured out what they really wanted.
Yeah.
All right, well, it looks like we need to wrap up. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Where
Thanks
can the
for having
fans go if they want to find out more? Your social
Dog
media.
at Twitter. Wolf Dog.
Cool.
You can check out all my work at Desoluz or desoluz.com.
I have my website, AugustoBarranco.com, and on Twitter, AugustoBarranco_art_dir.
And we're always showing our work and stuff online. So.
I try my best to, if I have some development stuff, I post the week after.
That's awesome.
That's very smart.
It's hard, but try to keep up as much as I can.
Hasbro appreciates it.
Yeah, you guys have great work. It's fantastic.
You can find me all over the interwebs as atorres890. You can also find me here at our sister network, blackhollywoodlive.com. For Geek Nerd Tech, we talk about tech, video games, and other things.
You can find me on Twitter at Emma Fyffe. You can also find me on various shows here at AfterBuzz. This one, Sailor Moon Crystal, and also the cosplay coach on the Popcorn Talk Network, which is another AfterBuzz sister network.
And I'm Megan. You can follow me on Twitter at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. I've also had a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, and I've also started writing articles for the Movie Chick. That's Chick with 2 Ks. So be sure to check those out.
I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram at Kiaxet. That's KIAXET. I've also joined Snapchat as Kia Prime. I'm on the Arrow After Show here. Thank you so much for listening, you guys. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, all of the wonderful places where you can find AfterBuzz. Leave us a rating, 5 stars, because you love us. Comment, rate, subscribe. We adore you all. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Transform.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Transform and roll out!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.